This operation looks at a very small isolated part of the overall Tet Offensive. Shortly after midnight on the 30th of January 1968, in the Mekong Delta, Mai Tho, a small Vietnamese city, is hit by the surprise attack. 1,200 Viet Cong from the 261st, 263rd and 514th Battalions overwhelm the defenders and take control of the city. Two battalions of the 9th Infantry Division's Riverine Force, also known as the Mobile Riverine Force, MRF, respond, stationed at Dong Tam Base Camp, a 600-acre island west of Mai Tho in the Mekong Delta. We are ideally positioned to respond with urgency to the surprise offensive. At first daylight, we move east along the Mekong. Once in position, we'll move onto land and head north towards Mai Tho. We will clear the villages and towns of VC as we make our way to retake the city. The attackers have spread out and are expected to be setting up defensive positions in the surrounding towns, as well as utilizing guerrilla hit-and-run tactics with the goal of preventing us to move towards the city. The first settlement we encounter has already been overrun by VC. We take control of town and clear the buildings. We regroup and head north. In the early hours of January 30th, 1968, there were simultaneous attacks by approximately 85,000 North Vietnamese Army, NVA, and Viet Cong VC troops. They targeted South Vietnam cities, military installations, towns and villages, with the goal of sparking a widespread rebellion and popular uprising against the US and South Vietnamese Army, SVA. It was a surprise attack. The offensive was launched during a period of celebration, Vietnamese Lunar New Year, the Tet holiday. It had thought to be an accepted period of peace, a brief respite from the fighting, where both sides laid down their weapons. As a result, many South Vietnamese soldiers were on leave. This was the beginning of the Tet Offensive. We encounter an unexpected VC checkpoint. We dismount, send scouts to recon the position, but we are spotted and engaged. We push towards the checkpoint, using the trees as cover.
Tree line, left side. West, into tree line.
We have taken control of the area. After a brief wait, another squad from MRF link up with us.
Set up security on the road. Hold the
Together, we head out, once again heading north in our push towards Mytho.
pulling up now.
5 major South Vietnamese cities, including Saigon, were targeted. Attackers briefly captured key areas of Saigon, including the Presidential Palace and the US Embassy. The offensive failed to incite a widespread popular uprising, as had been hoped by the North. The fighting that ensued lasted for months in some areas. The NVA and VC suffered mass casualties, with estimates suggesting 45,000 to 60,000 NVA and VC casualties, along with widespread damage to the south. 7,000 to 14,000 civilian deaths, more than 500,000 people displaced, and over 75,000 homes damaged or destroyed. The US and SVA suffered 2,600 KIAs and a further 10,000 wounded. We stopped the convoy at a US checkpoint, expecting to simply rearm and resupply, but as we disembark, we are fired upon from our flanks. The VC has been waiting for us in the trees and is launching a surprise attack. Just as suddenly as it had started, the threat disappeared back into the jungle.
Contact, fall back.
And after making sure they were gone, we continued on our convoy. On the ground, it was a military success for the US and SVA forces. At the conclusion of the fighting, the attackers had failed to incite a revolution, suffered mass casualties, and lost the areas it had control over at the beginning of the offensive. Although, the offensive had a profound psychological and political impact. It marked a significant escalation in the conflict. It was a political triumph for the MVA and VC. It demonstrated their ability to strike deep in the south by surprise. The news of the offensive eroded the US support for the war effort, making an already unpopular war even more so. The Tet Offensive marked a turning point in the Vietnam War.
4 helos, everyone distribute yourself amongst the helos evenly.
With the US beginning to wind down involvement in Vietnam in the aftermath.
Lead chopper or Huey to fill.
We were transported by Huey to our final objective. Although not Mytho, it is a representation of the chaotic fighting the MRF and SVA forces did encounter when approaching Mytho.
Commanders over here.
In this operation, we have cleared the areas surrounding the city, but do not make an assault on the city itself. The base camp we captured was symbolic of a larger assault at the end of our journey north. But what actually happened in 1968 was that after making their way to the city, the MRF, along with SVA forces, made a push to retake the city. 3 days of brutal urban combat ensued. Half the city was destroyed in fighting, but the attackers were repelled. The attempt of the North to incite a popular uprising failed, and the city was once again in the hands of the South Vietnamese.